I was watching an interview earlier. They were talking about just positive results we've had in the elections, getting socialists and progressives elected. And I'm just sitting here thinking to myself in the dark about how what the election, Donald Trump, what coronavirus, what all this means for the Long March and for working class people entrenched in the struggle. I think Trump made a lot of things real. I think that the compassionate conservatism of the 90s of first George Bush, Clinton was a Democrat. George Bush, H.W. Bush, Junior Bush. I think that's over with. The idea of we're conservatives, but we're not racist, and we're open-minded to other ideas. If you have a better idea of running the country, we're all ears. That they could kind of fake it a little bit, and you would have legitimate conservatism, people who aren't trying to commit fraud and use race baiting and use dog whistles and code word and Southern strategy stuff. I think a lot of folks I've been around believe the 90s were our highest time as far as Americans. The Cold War was over with. There really wasn't any wars in the 90s other than Desert Storm and Black Hawk Down, all that stuff. That was like peacekeeper stuff, the Kosovo thing. But I think that my friend Dizelle said a lot of people want to just stay in entertainment. They want to be entertained. A lot of folks just want to be entertained, and they don't care about how America is changing. The dollar means less, and things are harder, things are tighter for everybody. People don't want to think about that, Like somebody said to me earlier that if 80-90% of society was living 2 paychecks from losing it all, we never had a boom. We never had a good economy. Like, there was never a recovery. You understand? We never recovered. Things just got back from, it's like a homeless man getting a job at McDonald's. It's good. I mean, that's good. That's great. But he's not going to be buying any cars working at McDonald's. He's not going to be going out here and traveling to Europe working at McDonald's. He's not going to be moving into some penthouse uptown. Okay? I think that the Donald Trump thing is kind of, I got a new word David Pakman mentioned. He called it hyper-capitalism, which he was talking about Democrats like me, progressives like me, who don't like Bernie. Who don't like Biden, who like Bernie, and who he was like, well, look, you can either not vote for him, vote for Trump, whatever. He said there are some progressives, he calls them hyper-capitalists, that feel like if you speed up capitalism, it will destroy itself. And he's right, but it's going to do a lot of damage on the way. He's right. Hyper-capitalism it'll destroy itself, but it'll destroy a lot of lives and a lot of communities. We've got to get in front of the guns. We can't just let the guns go until the guns run empty or the barrels melt. You can't do that. I'm not that jaded. Maybe one day I will be. I'm not that jaded. Because that'll destroy a lot of people. A lot of people. Yep. There'll be a feudalism before that happens. I think that Donald Trump is a form of hyper-capitalism, bailing out these big corporations and all this kind of stuff, and no rent freeze, not using his powers to compel people to make masks and stuff. Trump is a form of corporatism. It gets me that a lot of conservatives don't call him out on that. That he has not cleaned the swamp. He just stocked it with his own alligators. They wear a different color tie and they wear a different brand of shoe. That's all I see. I just feel like for a lot of people who weren't even political, people of color who look at Trump, it has definitely gotten them involved. It's definitely encouraged them. That's what I'm looking for. It's encouraged them to take a look around. Trump said, you got nothing to lose. Coronavirus, this thing show you have a lot to lose. A lot. These people don't care about you. They never did. Like I've said before, that I think most people know the government has secret plans. They may not know about Power Geyser or Granite Shadow or con plans and stuff like that. But I think most people know the government has plans when lights go out nationwide, when stuff like that happens. And people don't care about that as long as they can live their lives. What Trump has done has fucked things up so badly. I mean, and the right wants to just focus on the economy and not focus on what led us to this point, which was conservatives defunding programs. You know what I mean? I'm going to always say that. I'm going to always say that to my children, my family, that conservatives devaluing government public health programs led to the coronavirus crisis. Period. And now they want us to go to work and go out here and die to keep capitalism going. No, fuck you and fuck your president. You led us down this road. And now you want us to go out here and die to keep your businesses going, to go die for Domino's. Fuck you. That's right. You created this environment that when you get a minor disease, and let's be honest something, guys, it may not kill a lot of people. It may kill, they're saying 16 to 20% of people that get sick. But even if it was less than that, even if it was a flu, if you got people who are out for weeks and weeks and weeks, you're talking about bankruptcies. You're talking about really doing some substantial damage to the economy. You know? I mean, you're talking about some real damage to the economy there. People's livelihoods, businesses going to be shut. I mean, I don't think you would have had people out here protesting the way they were if right-wingers didn't fund it. That might continue even after the right-wingers get out of it, but I think the right-wingers, they put some gas on the fire. They put some lighter fluid out there, in fact. Yeah. You would have had people like slowing down traffic, but not just going out with guns and stuff. Is something different. It's something different. It's something different. This is egged on and inspired, by the capitalist class. But like I said, I really feel like the success we have had in Chicago and other areas, and getting socialists elected, it will continue. I think Trump has inspired that. I think you're gonna have some right wingers that get in spots too. In parts of the country, but I think you're going to have a lot of people becoming radicalized. You're looking at a new radicalized left, which is necessary. And I hope people hold this in their hearts and in their minds, what Trump has done. You don't have to be a genius, you don't have to be a virologist, you don't have to be an economist to know that this is how capitalism works. They defund social health, they defund the social safety nets as well. Add both those together. So that when you get a minor crisis, people are getting thrown out of their houses and apartments in a matter of days. This is how this happens. This system is built, it's a house of cards upon a house of cards. Okay? So I just want to make that clear. And that's why they talk about it's the end of the world. No, it's the end of capitalism. These are the final stages of capitalism. The nationalism, the inability to deal with basic public health needs. This is the fall of capitalism. This is not the end of the world. I'm sure people thought the Nazis were the end of the world. I'm sure people did. I'm sure you had people back then that felt like this is the Antichrist. Hitler is the Antichrist. Him meeting with the Catholic Church. Yeah, I'm sure people felt that way. The bubonic plague. I'm sure people felt like back then. That stuff was the end of the world. What else? The cholera outbreaks and typhus. I'm sure people during those times thought it was the end of the world too. And I'm sure they did, because for them, it was the end of the world for them. They were losing everything. I get that. But I don't think that's what this is, pestilence and all that. This is just a system breaking down that should have broke down a long time ago. But for the glory of God, it kept going. And that America has not really faced any major crisis in a very long time, other than natural disasters. We have not faced a major disaster. Irma, Florence, Sandy back in 2012. Yeah, I was driving the truck. I was up in Massachusetts when it happened. And Katrina back in 04 or 03 or something. We haven't had that many major public health crises where you got to roll out everything and everybody. I hope that this inspires people. I hope it inspires the left to realize that if you don't stand up for yourself, for your people, nobody will. And that you have aspects of the U.S. government that don't care about the public. They don't. They never did. They never will. And Trump just brought it to the forefront, that they don't serve us. That's what I see. I hear people talking about how this is them, the reset and the mark of the beast. That's all crazy shit, man. You know what it is? All that comes from uncertainty. I want to be clear. I'm not mad at them people. I'm not mad at them. Because in a way, in everything they're saying is true. Everything they're saying is true. Talking about, one thing I was looking at earlier was talking about how, they're funding provocateurs to start up violence. I agree. But that ain't the end world order. That's just these billionaire right-wingers. I agree with you. I never thought about that they were doing it to inspire violence, though. I just saw it as there could be violence. Trump, out here, they could be bad. That could happen. But that's just to get the states moving. That's just that's just right wingers doing what they do, going out here and being loud and making a bunch of noise. I never saw it like that though. So in a way, he's got that right. This is none of that stuff. Peace.